when dashboards define competence. Across longer time horizons, teams quietly learn to serve what is easiest to count, and the bill arrives as extra meetings, thicker dashboards, and constant notifications that still fail to prevent late rework. The broken assumption is simple, that visible work is the same as effective work. When measurement scales, visibility can replace effectiveness because the metric becomes the coordination surface. People optimize what dashboards can display, and the system gradually treats what is unmeasured as less real, even when it matters most. Measurement begins as a tool for seeing, but it often becomes a tool for sorting. A dashboard is not just information. It is a gateway to approvals, budget, status, and safety. That is the key incentive. When career and resource flows route through a number, the number becomes a handle on reality, not merely a description of it. In the short term, metrics reduce uncertainty. They compress complexity into a few signals so decisions can move. But that compression is also an explicit constraint: limited attention. A leadership review has a fixed number of minutes. A weekly meeting has a fixed agenda. A report has a fixed number of rows. Under that constraint, what fits is discussed, and what is discussed is treated as urgent. This produces a predictable trade-off: precision versus coverage. The dashboard can be very precise about what it tracks, while being blind to what it ignores. And because time is scarce, the tracked items gain priority not only because they are important, but because they are legible. Now the feedback loop forms. First, teams are asked for updates in a format that can be aggregated. Second, work is reshaped to fit that format. Third, the dashboard becomes cleaner and more consistent, which increases trust in it. Fourth, trust increases demand for more metrics, because the system experiences the sensation of control. Each cycle strengthens the coupling between what is seen and what is rewarded. Over the mid-horizon, a second-order effect appears. Measurement begins to change the kind of competence the system recognizes. Competence shifts from solves hard problems under ambiguity to produces stable signals under scrutiny. People learn to write work to the checklist, to schedule work to the reporting cadence, and to choose tasks with fast evidence over tasks with delayed impact. None of this requires bad intent. It is the rational response to constraints and incentives. The organization also develops a subtle form of risk transfer. Difficult work, maintenance, integration, quality, relationship repair, threat modeling, documentation that no one reads until it is missing, often yields weak immediate signals. When those activities compete with highly visible deliverables, they lose. The system may still claim to value them, but the governance surface does not pay them. Over time, the unmeasured work becomes a tail risk warehouse. It accumulates quietly until it breaks loudly. Across longer horizons, the measurement regime can produce an illusion of progress. Dashboards show motion: more tickets closed, more checkboxes marked, more throughput. Yet effectiveness is not motion. It is outcomes that survive contact with reality. When visibility replaces effectiveness, the system becomes excellent at reporting and mediocre at learning. That is why these failures feel so confusing. The numbers can be accurate while the direction is wrong. There is also uncertainty that cannot be eliminated by instrumentation. Some domains change slower than the reporting cycle, others change faster. Some harm is rare but catastrophic. Some benefit is real but delayed. Metrics handle the typical case well, and that is why they spread. The danger is not measurement itself. It is forgetting that the map is smaller than the territory, and then letting the map govern the territory. This is not merely a technical flaw. It is a question of responsibility. If dashboards define competence, then attention becomes a governance act, because attention decides what counts as real. Systems reveal truth through what they permit, constrain, and ignore. When the permitted path is be measurable, the ignored path is often be resilient. In that environment, people are not only managing work, they are managing visibility. Identity and belonging can become tethered to performance signals: the green status, the upward line, the on-time update. The human cost is subtle: reduced space for candor, reduced tolerance for ambiguity, and a quieter narrowing of curiosity. Over time horizons long enough, a culture that cannot speak about what is not on the dashboard will struggle to govern its own tail risks. Governance is part of the system. what a review meeting asks for, what an approval requires, what a checklist declares complete. These are not neutral. They encode values, and they shape what kind of care is possible for work that is complex, slow, or hard to display. Hold one disciplined act of reflection. Choose a single time horizon, this week, this quarter, or 3 years, and name one hidden assumption inside a familiar dashboard. Is the assumption that what is counted is what matters, that what is frequent is what is important, or that what is visible is what is effective? Notice, without argument, what risks become easier to ignore under that assumption. Dashboards can help us see, but they can also teach us what to stop seeing. Humility begins where the numbers end. The future is shaped by constraints, not wishes.